Welcome to Girl Bible, hosted by two women who aren't afraid to dive into anything and everything. This podcast is all about exploring life, laughing through the chaos, and finding common ground with people from all walks of life. No topic is off limits, no vibe is too weird. Come hang out with us every week for real talk, random tangents, and plenty of laughs.
And we're back with another episode.
I know, our 7th episode of Girl Bible. And
Yeah.
we're talking all things mental health today.
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
Mental Health Awareness Month was May. So we weren't up and running then. So we're
Right.
doing it
We
in
missed
July.
the beat a little bit. Yeah. I just think mental health is something that should be talked about all the time. Obviously, show a little bit more love meant like for that specific month, but I just think it's something that we shouldn't shy away from. So even though we missed it, bringing it back.
Mental
You
health
go.
is something I hold near and dear to my heart only because it has affected me personally. And I never thought I would go through any sort of mental health crisis. And then there I was going through one. So now I'm such an advocate for talking about mental health. I try to talk about it. Obviously, I've talked about it a million times with you. I try to talk about it with anyone who will listen because you never know. You literally never know when it might affect you or somebody that you love. And you want to have some tools in your bag to handle what's going on.
Yeah, well, I think it's exactly that what you were saying. We talk about all the time, like pretty much every topic. You never think it's gonna be you until it is you. And I just think that's a really huge theme that we're kind of finding on this podcast. So yeah, just having the right tools to help either yourself or like a loved one out, just super key, especially in mental health, I think.
And I had some statistics pulled up
Okay,
from
perfect.
the National Council for Mental Health Support, and 1 in 5 US adults experience mental illness each year, and 1 in 20 US adults experience serious mental illness each year. So this is not just affecting, a few people. This is affecting 1 in 5 is a lot. That's a lot. That
Yeah,
means you walk past 5 people, one of those people is dealing
yeah.
with something serious.
Something that I kind of found out just recently that I thought was super interesting is like the second leading cause in deaths of athletes is suicide. The first is like car accidents
That
or
is
like,
so sad.
right?
That is
That's what I thought.
so sad.
Yeah,
Well, it says 20% of all high school students, 20%.
that's a
That's
huge
the
number.
same that's the same number, 1 in 5. So 20% of all high school students seriously consider suicide. That's
That's like
crazy.
if you're like standing in the commons or like you're at in a high school event, like that's a huge group that you could just pull from. Like if you just literally, if you were watching people walk by and you pulled like the fifth person every time, like it's crazy.
And then it said 50% of all lifetime mental illness begins by the age of 14, which is so young, and 75% begins by the age of 24.
Yeah,
So by the
I
time
just
you're finished with school, like 75% of people who are going to experience mental illness start it by age 24.
yeah. No. I
That's crazy.
um it is crazy in high school because I think you could probably go down the line and you could talk about just take a random group of people and you could ask them if they knew someone or went to high school with someone who either attempted or did take their life, and they would probably have a story about it.
Right? And it's so sad. I feel like just by talking about it and just by being aware of it, you have a few more tools in your bag to just ask the question, stop and spend the time with people, and check in on everybody that you know and love, just because you never know. And it's one of those things where I feel like it's such a silent illness because you can't tell just by looking at someone. this is one of those things where you are not going to look at someone and know that they are experiencing
Mhm.
a mental health anything.
Yes. Um,
And something else that makes this episode really relevant for the time right now is that Logan had the privilege of going to a mental health retreat.
yes, I did, and
So I
let me
wanted
just
her
tell
to
you
talk
guys,
about that a little bit.
yeah, I had such a blast. I went on a retreat with the Jae Foundation, and I wanna kind of refrain from sharing, like, the actual story behind why the retreat was started because I think the people who run the foundation, it's just the way that they share it is just so touching, so if you're have any, like, you're feeling like you wanna find out more, I suggest you, like, take the time, look up the J Foundation. I have it right here. Here's my little
Oh,
notebook that
cute.
they gave me, but they just do such a good job of sharing the story, and one of the founders, it's kind of more of his story and one of his close friends, so I just kinda wanna leave that for them to share, but let me just tell you, we went to a little town in Wyoming called Pinedale, and we stayed on this place called the Double J Ranch, and there was, like we just really reconnected with nature, and I wanna say most of our time on the retreat was kind of pouring more into ourselves so we could find our purpose, so we were able to help other people or, like, when a situation did arise and we needed to take the necessary steps, that was something we'd be able to do, and so there was a lot of just we broke out into groups, we got kind of uncomfortable, like, we got emotional, people cried. It was really beautiful, and it was with a group of athletes that go to the University of Wyoming, and I just had such a blast connecting with all of them. Most of them, I did not know them at all, and I would say now I came out, like, having kind of a friendship, and just by the end of the trip, everyone was really comfortable with each other, and it was just really a blast. But a couple things that I just wanna touch on that they kind of talked about at the retreat was one of them was kind of this blank left mentality. And that's when you think about, I have blank practices left. It's not even like until you maybe aren't existing on this earth anymore. It's just kind of making the most of the time that you do have, the opportunities that you do have, the practices that you have left, the assignments that you have left in class, just really making the most of it. And I really thought that that was super incredible because not only can you like take that and put that in every kind of caveat of your life, it just is a really good theme to have, I think, anyways.
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay, and then just we talked a lot about like finding our purpose and our core values. And if you do kind of take the time to look into the J Foundation and see what they're actually doing, I'm sure that they have some of their resources up there, but it was just a great time to kind of reflect on yourself and find out what's important with you and kind of walk with whatever your core values are. And that'll just help you, be more yourself and be able to like branch out and help others around you, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It does. When you're more aligned and sure of yourself, you're able to show up as your true authentic self, which also helps bring that out in others, and
Mhm.
people recognize that you're sound too, and then they can come to you for
Mhm.
anything and everything, and they know you're going to be, like, a solid resource.
Right. Right. And I think you touched on it a little bit earlier, speaking on, reaching out to those who are important to us. And the J Foundation kind of refers to it as a boot check. And, I said that we were in Wyoming. It's kind of more like a Western theme. But boot check just basically means, you sit down and you take the time to check in and have a hard conversation with a loved one. Just make sure that they really are doing okay. Get more than just surface level, more than just like, "Hey, how you doing?" "Good, good. How are you?" Just kind of basic, like really make sure that, they have all the things that you need and, that can also create a conversation where you're really getting what you need out of it too. So I just think that's super cool and I was super thankful to go on this foundation and go to on this retreat with this foundation, and I just got so much out of it. It was a blast.
That's so good. Also,
Yeah.
just piggybacking off of what Logan just said, the importance of the conversations you're having and the emphasis on going a little bit deeper, anyone can text and say, "Hey, how are you?" And 90% of the time, people will be like, "I'm fine, how are you?" Even when they're not fine. So, I think the emphasis on diving a little bit deeper, maybe it gets uncomfortable, maybe it's a bit touchy at first because no one really dives that deep.
Mm-mm.
In my opinion, I just feel like people don't really dive that deep unless you're really, really close or you're having an extended face-to-face conversation, but you have to ask those uncomfortable questions and just kind of push a little bit to get past a surface level answer because sure, if somebody says they're fine, usually you'll take it at face value and just assume they're fine. But a lot of times, obviously, if it's 1 in 5, a lot of times it's more than fine. They're not doing fine. So
Yeah.
just keep asking and prying, and you won't regret digging deeper.
Mm-mm.
You'll regret not digging
No,
deeper, but you will not ever regret pushing and asking more questions.
no. And also kind of what we talked about on retreat, but something that I think is so important is like the follow-up. Like, yes, you have a deep conversation and like, you find out, okay, they're not doing so hot. Like, I need to do this, or we said we were going to do this. But after all that first phone call, like, that you need to follow up as well. Like, you need to make sure that like they followed through, you followed through, because I'm pretty sure there's a pretty good statistic saying that like when you follow up, like it decreases the chance of them actually taking their life by so much. And it's just like a second phone call, or even like a third or fourth phone call. And in the grand scheme of things, like you're not going to regret calling them a couple more times than never being able to call them again.
Dang, that's deep.
So
Very intense.
yeah, sorry, didn't mean to get that intense, but
No, it was good. It's good. People need the information.
yeah,
Obviously, you know that I went on my own mental health, journey, that's what we'll call it, a
yeah,
journey, and it
yeah,
happened both of us look like we're about to start crying.
yeah, because it was a hard time, I feel like. And also just kind of before Keisha gets into this, like, I don't I feel like there's a huge, like, push for people to, like, take antidepressants. And if that's something that you feel really strong in, then by any means, do what you need to do to get help. But one thing that I feel like isn't super talked about is, like, antidepressants aren't something that you're ever supposed to stop taking if you start taking them. Like, it's something that you in your body will become dependent on at some point. And I just think that sometimes, these like your mental health can just be like a stint. You're not going to feel like this forever, even though sometimes it will feel like that. So I just want everybody listening, if you're, maybe considering taking an antidepressant, just maybe look at some other options and see if like there's some other way that you can kind of get through it, because I just feel like it's not going to last forever, and having something that kind of you will just like have to lean on for the rest of your life. I don't think anybody would want to do that long term. And I just think that there is another option. And I don't like, I didn't really know that until kind of Keisha went through her whole mental health thing. And that's like something that her and I both are kind of huge on, is like, we don't want to have to rely on taking something for the rest of our lives. And I think it's completely healthy if that's something that you want to do and you feel like is necessary, that you should do. But I just kind of wanted to put that out there also.
Especially if you're young, you have a little bit more risk with it as well because there are some adverse effects. So obviously you talk with your doctor, you talk with your family and you decide what's best for you and by all means like Logan said, if it's something that's going to save your life then do it.
Mhm.
Do it. But hopefully today we'll give some tips and tools and other options that can also change your mental health journey without having any prescription medications.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, we will see.
So, my mental health journey started after I had Blake, my second child, and I went to my doctor about a month after I had Blake, a little less than a month after I had her. I just broke down crying in the doctor's office. I was like, "This is so hard." Like, I don't know what's wrong with me. This is not the baby blues. I am not feeling like myself. And my doctor was like, "It sounds like you have postpartum depression." And I was like, I had kind of a hint that maybe that's what it was, or maybe I was just adjusting to life with a 2-year-old and an infant and a
Yeah.
newborn.
Yes.
So it was just crazy times. We had Blake in December, which if you know anything about our backstory, I am a coach's wife, and so my husband coaches college basketball. December, it's on and popping. Like basketball season is in
Yeah.
full swing. He does not have time to like take any time off. We had our firstborn in the summer. It's just way
Yeah.
different vibes, like, it was
Mhm.
chill, we had time to be a little family,
And it
um,
was during kinda COVID time or no, how old is he during COVID times?
COVID started at, the March after we had
Right,
Hayes,
okay,
and
yeah.
so then we were really, like, a locked down
Mhm,
little
okay, yeah.
little unit, but still, we were able to, like, get on our feet and figure things out as a family of 3 first before Dan was in full swing of work, and that was so helpful, and I was a teacher, so I had no work in the summer, I was just chilling. Now, flash forward to when I had Blake, I was just coming off of a bender working at a daycare the whole pregnancy, the entire
Yes,
time I was pregnant with Blake,
yes. Taking care
and
of other people's kids, like
I was grinding, like, we were in a grinding phase of life where I was working full time, taking care of Hayes. Hayes was he turned 2 the July before we had Blake, so he was almost 2 and a half when I had her. We gave birth to Blake. Dan was literally working on a scout in the hospital while I was giving birth to Blake, like, running his laptop out back and forth to
yeah,
people, and then I gave birth to Blake, we brought her home the next day. You can already tell, like, I'm not a big
yeah,
hospital doctor girly, so we gave birth to her, we were back at home, like, I'm not taking any
right,
extra time. First of all, I don't wanna pay for it because what am I paying for? This is like a
yeah,
rundown, busted up hotel that I don't wanna be at, like, no, I don't wanna be here, I'd rather be in my comfy bed doing this. So, and I also don't think that giving birth is a medical event, so we quickly gave birth and we were back at home. Dan was back at work the next day, so it
yeah,
was over, like,
immediately.
it was over. He had games to do, and they were trying to win a championship, and I get that, and so off he goes, and here I am with a 2-year-old and a newborn, and my 2-year-old was going through it, which
Oh,
I understand, like, you were the apple of our eye, and now all of a sudden I just brought home this new baby, and you're like, "What the heck is going on?" Like,
no, yeah,
why are you cuddling this
seriously.
thing, giving it all this attention?
When you think terrible twos, I want you to just imagine one of those trends on TikTok where it's like double it and give it to the next person, and it's gone through like 50 people, and that's his like terrible twos. Like it was monstrous, and
Which
I
we
love him to death.
later as we went on our, like, mental health slash just health journey, we honestly went through such a health wellness journey as a family. I totally think it was, like, artificial dyes in his diet, but we can save
Mhm.
that for another episode.
That's another
Um
episode.
'Cause there's a drastic difference between Hayes then, Hayes now, Hayes when we stopped artificial dyes in his diet
Yes.
and just cleaned up his diet in general. But side note, we were in the trenches, like, Logan came, her
Yes.
family came, and they saw, like, a little glimpse, and obviously they weren't like, "Oh, dang, you're down bad," but Hayes had one of the most monster tantrums that
Mhm.
I've ever witnessed.
Yes. No, I
You
have it
were
on
there with
video.
me, and I, like,
I have it
broke
on I
down in
have,
the
like
car
yes.
just crying. I was like,
Yes, yeah. I can't do yeah. We were, like, trying to get ready to go to a game, and another thing also that I feel like shows that December's just a crazy time is, like, when her first was born, my whole Dan's whole pretty much, like, side of the family was like at the hospital when Keisha was having Hayes. But like December, my mom's all teachers, all of us play sports. Like, I don't, could Julie even come? Like,
It it was 2021, so no one was allowed to come, so only
oh,
Dan
okay,
I got
yeah,
to bring one person with me to the hospital,
right,
which was
right.
fine 'cause I don't like people in the room with my
Yeah, no, no, no,
legs up
yeah,
in the air anyways,
yeah,
wide open, looking like
right,
trash, no offense, I don't look that
right.
good when I'm
No,
giving birth,
yeah.
and I try hard to look good, I do not look
Dude,
good.
no, 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 no. I'm gonna like post a picture of like the first picture she took with Hayes. She was glowing. Like when I was like, you guys are lying. Somebody else gave birth to this baby. It was not Keisha. I
Mind you, I
genuinely.
think that girls that, like I try so hard to. I put on makeup, I try to fix my hair, but when I tell you I'm giving birth to these babies, I gave them birth all naturally, like, the sweat is happening, things are
All
happening in there.
natural. Pause. All natural. No epidural, no extra anything. Think
And
about that.
that's
If you're
why I
listening,
look a little rough.
she did not even. She did not even. I was shocked. I was like, this girl is out here making it look easy. Okay. Anyways, back to the story. Yeah, we were all there when Keisha just had Blake like pretty soon after because it was like our Christmas break. Dan was still coaching, so it wasn't like he was gone half the time, but then we were just kind of there to help out. And like Blakey girl was fresh. She was fresh out the womb. And Hayes was like something else. Like you couldn't
He was
like
going through it, it was
if
hard.
you looked at him wrong, he would like throw a fit, which is fair because we think there were some other factors going into it. Hayes was born. Everyone like loved Hayes. Everyone was just like, here, Hayes, do this, Hayes, blah blah blah. And I think when we were still there, a lot of people were still kind of more like they wanted to play with Hayes. He was a little bit older, but I just think having you be kind of split in two was something that he was not used to at all.
Exactly. It was
Mhm.
rough. So,
Mhm.
they come, Hayes throws this enormous tantrum, I'm, like, crying in the car, Logan's with me. Logan's in the car, she's like, "It's okay, man." I was like, "Is it okay?" We literally just strapped my kids in the car, I dressed them up all cute, we get to the game, I'm like, "You're gonna take a picture with Santa." Like, we walk into the game, and Hayes and Blick both take this, like, stoic picture with Santa that's at the game, and then we sit through the game, but I just remember being in, like, a fog, like, not feeling like you know how I mean, you don't know, but it feels like you're not in your body, basically.
No,
Like,
yes.
you're going through
And
the motions, but you're not in your body, you're just like, "Okay, next, pick up the kid, feed the
yeah.
kid, do this, walk to the car, we got this." I'm still smiling, I'm still carrying on conversations, I'm
Mhm.
still interacting, but I'm literally mentally, like, shutting down. So
Yeah.
they leave, I go to my doctor, and I break down in the doctor's office. She's like, "I think you have postpartum depression." I was like, "Maybe I do, or maybe I'm just overwhelmed. We just had guests in, we're in the middle of a season, like, this is crazy. Everything's crazy right now. I'm not sure." Either way, in that office, she gives me birth control. Okay. First of all, I'm complaining about my face because I had the worst hormonal acne after I had really both my kids. My face was going through it, and I'm so blessed now to say that that's, like, one of my biggest issues was dealing with freaking acne, okay, as an adult. I was
Yeah.
like,
And
I'm
side note, I never once thought Keisha had bad acne after she had the kids, but anyways,
that's because I wear makeup, and I was like, I'm not just gonna show up looking crazy.
still.
But my face was breaking out like crazy, so she puts me on this hormonal acne, okay? I mean, no, I had hormonal acne. She puts me on hormonal birth control. She's like, "This will clear up your skin. Do you want an antidepressant?" I'm like, "I'm not ready for that. I'm not gonna commit to that. Like, I cannot I wanna try to kick this on my own." So I leave the office, no antidepressants, hormonal birth control instead in my hands, which, we'll get there. Start taking this birth control, and I feel worse. My face is looking better, sure. Like, my face is looking better. I am in the absolute trenches of my life. Like, I'm having thoughts I've never had before. Yes, I was, like, honestly considering
Yeah,
ending it right there.
right.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Anyways, it's sad because it's just sad because I don't wanna think that when I have 2 kids, but
Yeah, and if like, another reason why it's really sad is because kind of before all of that happened, like, Keisha was just, like, the most, like, glass half full person and, like, happy-go-lucky person you'd ever meet, and so it just is sad that there is just, like, such a turnaround kind of in that, you can feel so feels one way and then all of a sudden it kinda turns around, but that's just how it gets you, like, you can't really understand mental health, it just kind of it just hits you.
that is the best summary of it. Like, when I hit this episode, I realized I'd never even really been that sad before. Like, I'd been sad, I'd experienced sadness, but I was one of the few, like, crazy, excited for life, happy people, and I honestly was thinking, like, my kids will be better if I was not here, which is so sad because I don't think that's true, but
It's not.
in the moment, that's how I felt. So,
Yeah, and I feel like that's the other thing is, like, y you can't make it make sense in your head at the time. You like, that's just what makes sense, and it just feels like you're like, "Yeah, like, that's the only thing that makes sense," but, that's why I think it's so important to reach out and talk to other people because sometimes we just can't make sense of it by ourselves. Sometimes we need someone else to kind of, bring us back to reality or even us out, like, it's so easy to make something up in your head and be like, "This is the way that it has to be," but that's not always true.
so we find out we're in this little town home in Montana. We find out we have to fricking move. The landlord is going through a divorce with her husband, and she's like, "I wanna move back into this townhome because I can't live with my husband." Mind you, if you don't know anything about Bozeman, it's like it's crazy, okay? It's gorgeous, we love it, we are the biggest fans of Bozeman, Montana, we love that place, it's a hidden gem, but it was so expensive, and
It's
we were
like, yeah,
making,
it's
like
booming, bro.
we were
It's like a
struggling as a family at the time. I had just had to quit my job because I was working at the daycare where it made sense, I was making money, and then Hayes could go, to daycare for 50% off, which made it affordable for us. But putting 2 kids in would have just taken my entire daycare check, so it made no sense to even work at
yeah,
the daycare.
yeah.
So, we were back to 1 income and trying to figure things out and having to move. Mind you, it's still the middle of dance season. His season does not end until March-ish, depending on how they do, and she tells us this in, like, January. Okay, so
Which,
I'm in the
number 1,
trenches mentally.
shame on that lady, like, shame on that lady.
I
I
know,
remember
she knew
being
we just
livid.
had a baby,
She
and
knew.
she still was like, I'm going through a divorce, I need to move in." I find a place, but that was all me crying, whatever, trying to figure out a place that we could afford. I find a place, but we have to move in March. We have to move in March if we want the place, and like I said, dance season is still going on. So, they end up
And they
w
have no family. They have no family in Bozeman also, like, it's just Keisha and Dan, like, our parents
literally.
don't live there. My family, Dan's side of the family was 6 hours away. Keisha's family was in California, like, it wasn't gonna be, like, an easy little, like, "Oh, let me drive a couple out like, 2 hours to go help them move," like, it was gonna be a haul to try to get to Keisha and Dan.
So, I pack up our whole house with my
Bye. Yeah.
with my 3-month-old and my 2-year-old. I pack up our entire home, all of our belongings. I get us organized to move. Thank God. One of my friends from the daycare, she was a savior and she came to help like watch the kids so that I could do a million trips back and forth because we just had a little car at the time. So I'm just making like as many trips as possible. We get our stuff moved into the new place in March. We literally have boxes all around us. Dan ends up winning a championship that year. So amazing. I'm so proud of him. But like he's literally busy this whole time. And I'm just like doing all this stuff with the kids in the house. We fly out for the NCAA tournament. My family's like, you look down bad. Like, you look down bad. You first of all, I was dressed like trash, I was looking like trash, I nothing fit me, I was I was just going through it, and my parents recognized it. Obviously, I'd been on the phone with my parents the whole time, and my sister, and my whole family was there, and everyone's like, "You need help, like, you need help, you
Yeah.
need help, you need help." So, we make a plan and my dad's like, "I'm gonna take you to Coachella, and we're gonna get you out of this funk." And I'm like, "You know what? That actually sounds delightful. I think I do need a vacation after all of this. Like, I need a mental break, maybe from parenting for a second and to just, like, reset everything." Go to Coachella
Mhm.
with my dad, first of all. If you've never been to Coachella, honey, you need to go. You need to go. Save up your dollary bucks and just
Yep.
go. I don't care. You can go to Coachella with a couple nickels in your pocket and still have a blast. Like, it's possible. Okay. Go to Coachella. Wake up one day and I think it's the second day I'm there. And I go to take my birth control and I have this thought where I'm like, "Hmm, let me just look up what I'm taking because I didn't ask any questions. All I
Right.
asked was I wanted to clear up my acne. My doctor hands me this. I take it. My skin starts getting clear, and I don't ask any questions. So I look
Right.
at the
Well,
back, I type it
yeah.
into my phone, and why does it say that one of the major side effects of this birth control is suicidal thoughts and depression?
Yeah. Like,
And I was
you
like,
never think to ask the doctor because why? Because if I'm telling the doctor that I'm down bad, why are you gonna hand me something that's gonna aid that or could potentially aid that? You know, it doesn't make any sense.
exactly. So I immediately stopped taking it right then and there. I texted Anna, I was like, I'm not taking birth control anymore. Like, this is done. We'll use a different method, but we will not be using birth control." Stop taking it then and there and just enjoy the rest of my trip. Okay. We go back to Bozeman and obviously like the effects are going to take a really long time to wear off. So I'm still, not myself. We'll just say that. I'm not myself, but
Right.
I at least feel
Because at
like I
this
have
point
a handle on
yeah.
it.
Because
Yep,
at this
go ahead.
point, how long were you taking it for?
I'd been on it
From
for
the
3
time
months. So
yeah,
January,
gosh.
February, March. I went to Coachella in April, so almost 4 months really. Like mid-April is when I stopped taking it. I I'm off the pill and I'm like, now I'm doing some deep diving research because one of my friends was having a mental health crisis too. She's on the same birth control as me. I was like, you got to throw that out. It is why you are feeling the way that you're feeling. Do not take this
Yeah.
birth control. Like, do not take
Did
this.
she did she have, like did one of your friends have to be hospitalized? Okay,
Yes.
okay.
Yes. Because of super dark thoughts that were happening. She's on this birth control, the same one I'm on. Anyways, so I decide to go on a super holistic, natural wellness journey for the whole family, really. At that point, I was like, I'm done. If Big Pharma is going to come for me and my health, like, I'm just going to go off the grid. And I was already, we'll say, hippie leaning, anyways. I was
Yeah.
already
Yeah, hippie leaning.
teetering on the grid anyways, but
Mhm.
this just, like, solidified. I was like, I went to my doctor and was so vulnerable and told her what I was going through, and she handed me a pill that literally
Was just gonna dig you deeper into the hole that you were, like,
yeah, and then
already
her
stuck in.
solution while looking me dead in the eyeballs was, "Do you wanna get on an antidepressant?"
Yeah,
So you're
saying,
gonna
"Here,
hand
take
me a
this."
depressant and then try to hand me an antidepressant? That's your solution?
Like, what?
Crazy to me. Um, so I decide to go on this wellness journey and I'm like, I'm gonna get myself right. I'm gonna get out of this. Mind you, it took me like 2.5 years, but still, I was like,
But
I'm
still,
determined to do this.
yeah,
So I signed myself up for a yoga class. I was like, I'm gonna get certified in yoga. Yoga used to make me feel good. I'm gonna do that first, something for myself. Do that. I'm feeling better. Okay. I'm feeling better. I'm still having these like trenchy moments that are dragging you in. The best way I can describe like depression is you think like here's sadness, right? Okay. Or here's baseline. Here's baseline. And you're feeling like yourself. Okay. And then when you feel sad, you take a little dip down, but you can get yourself back to baseline, your average baseline. When you have depression, it's like discovering there was a basement level to life that you didn't even know a basement existed. And then every time you feel a glimpse of happiness, you're like trying to get back up to baseline. You can't get there. You're trying so hard and you literally can't. Like you're just getting up to normal sad when you're feeling
yeah,
happy. That's the best
normal sad
description.
at best. Yeah,
It's like the normal things that make you laugh nothing's that funny, like, nothing's that
yeah.
exciting. You get glimpses here and there, but again, you can't even get to baseline regulation, like, you're not
No,
getting
yeah.
there, no matter what you try. Nothing can shake you, and it's not anything that someone around you can do. Because Dan was trying so hard, he was like, "What can I do? Do you need to spend time with your parents? Do you need to do this? Do you need that?" I was like, "It's not like that, it's hard to explain, like, I can't get out of this. Like, this is crazy."
Yeah,
So I take the yoga class. I'm starting to feel better. I was like, I'm going to get in touch with my body. I'm going to move my body, get in touch with my body, get in touch with my breath, and just try to get back inside of myself. That was step number one. Step number two, we took this couples class, and I'm just going to say, I think it was like the ultimate catalyst for all the great changes in my life. I took a couples class with this woman, Kim Anami. You might think, Keisha, whatever, whatever. I don't really care. I really honestly don't care. I'm here
she
to
doesn't.
share my own experience with this. And there's millions of people, or at least hundreds of thousands of people who have taken her classes too. And you might not like her delivery, you might not like how crass she is, but this woman is out here changing lives and giving real advice to couples. And all I can say is she helps Dan and I get out of the trenches, man. We took a couples class with Kim and Nami. Yes, it's a sex class, but also it is like an intense therapy session where there's his sessions, her sessions, and together sessions that we do together. And wow, wow, that's all I can say. Wow. First of all, she encourages you to go completely sober for the whole 10 weeks of the class, which is something we've just kind of carried over anyways. I feel like if you're going through any bout of mental health, anything, alcohol is not your friend. You don't need to drink to take the edge off. You need to steer clear of any sort of alcohol beverage. Like it's not helping you, it's hurting you. So, we stayed completely sober for the 10 weeks. Um, and it just gave us so much clarity. And the way that we were able to connect as a couple was, I can't even explain it. I can't even explain it. You got to see some of the
Yeah,
benefits of it because you were
yeah.
like there and knew we were taking the class?
Right. Well, I just knew that it was, like, something she was really excited about because she literally was like, "Alright, I don't want this to be TMI, but I'm taking this amazing class, and when you find your little boo thing, you have to take it too." Like, she was
Yes.
so dead set on it, and I was like, "Okay," because Keisha's one of those people, if she's gonna, like, suggest something to me and really, like, be like, "This is amazing," then I'm gonna believe her, like, so I was like, "Okay," like, and you might be thinking, "You're this guy's niece, like, aren't you weirded out?" No, like, I don't know how to explain it. Keisha and I just have a different kind of friendship, like, it just it just doesn't really I don't know, it just doesn't really bother me at
It's,
all,
like,
like,
way more than surface level. We don't just have to we can keep it
no.
100% real all the time. It doesn't matter the
Yeah,
topic. Like, we talk
right,
about everything.
right, yeah, we do talk about everything, and you might be thinking, "What?" But, like, it just in a way that
Yeah, I don't
it's not
give,
getting
like, nasty,
disgusting. It's
weird
not giving me
details, nothing like
details,
that.
but, like, she's giving me what needs to be give, like, you know what I'm saying? She gives me the real advice, so, yeah.
Yeah, without the nitty-gritty, I don't get
Yeah,
that's
it's not,
weird.
like,
Okay,
weird.
don't
It's
make it
weird if you
weird.
were thinking that, yeah, don't
Yeah,
make it weird.
don't make it weird.
Yeah.
But what they do is there's this thing about radical honesty in the class, and I feel like what
Mhm.
happens to a lot of couples, especially if you've been together for a while, things sort of you think you're saving the relationship by holding your tongue, when in reality, you're just building up this, like, invisible wall between you guys of all the unsaid things, and it just gets all muddy and dusty, and so she says, "Clear your glass," and I just think every couple on the planet Earth needs to take this class. I don't care, young, old, whatever. If you're considering a serious monogamous relationship, first of all, you need to go into it like a business decision. Yes, you do.
Right?
Yes, you do. This is
Yeah.
the most important business decision of your life, and a lot of people just, like, meander into it thinking, "I like you and you like me. I guess this is just, like, the next step, like, we should blah" No, you need to sit down and consider this one of your greatest assets because this is going to be what determines everything in your life. So, sit down and handle it like a business. You guys need to write out an agreement, things that you guys want to do in the relationship, things that you don't want to do in the relationship, and how often you're going to revisit this agreement that you're talking about right
Yes.
now.
Yeah.
Like, is this a quarterly review? Is this a monthly review? This is, you need to regularly update
Yeah.
this with goals, dreams, hopes, and non negotiables because it is the most important business decision of your life, really.
Yeah.
Now, with the radical honesty comes this like freeing moment of just both of us being ourselves, our most authentic selves, good, bad, ugly, which I think also helps mental health because you're free to be, just be you. No judgment, whatever. It takes practice, yes, but she goes over that in the class. Like I said, take the class. Just take the class. If you're in a
Mhm.
relationship, take the class. Like you'll thank me later, take the class.
Mhm.
Next, I also decided to get my hormones tested. Yes, yes, I did because I realized, why am I a night owl? Why am I dragging butt in the morning? Why am I was experiencing, I wouldn't say like crazy hormonal acne, but I was getting hormonal breakouts, like with my cycle that I didn't love. So I was like, let's just check on my hormone levels and see what's going on here. Mind you, I had 2 kids, so my hormones are probably not just cruising along here. Things happen when
Yeah.
you have a baby and stuff fluctuates. So I did that and I got on supplements, and I cannot tell you how much they have changed my life. Like, changed my life. I feel better. I
Yeah.
feel like my skin is glowing. Mind you, I don't use cleanser on my face. You heard that
Which is
correctly.
just so
I don't use
well,
store-bought cleanser on my face. I use sunflower oil on my face to wash my face at night. Come
yeah.
at me. I
I
don't
think
really
I was
care.
there. I think I was there. You've, like, definitely been using it at least for a year. At
Yeah, it's been
least.
over a year. I started, I think, last spring when I came up to your grandma's house. when I was
Yeah.
watching
Yeah,
Huey with
'cause
you.
yes.
Yep,
Yes, yes, yes.
yep.
Also, this is kinda cool going back to this because I feel like I mean, I could be wrong. I feel like we
Mhm.
started to kinda get close kind of like maybe a year into your, like, kind of recovery from, like, you know, had
Yeah,
like, being like, "Okay, I have depression," taking birth control, and then kind of from that point, I think it was, like, a year, and then that's when we kinda started to get more close. Because I remember you telling me kind of about Coachella,
yeah.
but, like, I don't know, there's never just a definite moment like, "Okay, this is when me and Keisha got close." It just, like, happened,
Yeah, it
which is
was
just super cool.
organic, very organic.
Yeah,
We just
yeah.
slowly started sharing more and more and more, and then
Yeah, yeah.
we're like, "Should we be best friends?"
And then we were
And
like,
then here we
"Yeah,
are.
let's do it.
We're
Yeah, let's
like,
do it."
let's keep this going. I think
Yeah,
I like chit-chatting with you."
yeah,
Okay,
okay.
then I started making sure I go outside every day. I
Mhm.
was like, "Okay, I gotta get my steps up." I don't always get 10,000 steps a day, but I aim to, like, move more than I was, okay? Before I was just like I said, when my parents saw me that March, I literally was wearing trashy leggings and an oversized t-shirt, and I made a TikTok about this the other night. You saw it. But I was just like, "Girl, you gotta start showing up for yourself. I don't care if you have nowhere to go." But my dad said it to me, and I'm so grateful that he did because it's probably hard to look at your newly postpartum daughter and say something to her about how she looks
Oh,
terrible.
for
But
sure.
thank God for my dad because he's not gonna sugarcoat anything. He was like, "You look bad. Like, you don't look good. Like, you're
And you
embarrassing
guys know
Dan."
LP, yeah, like
Yeah, and he loves me to death. He loves me to death, so I knew it was coming from a place of love, but he was like, "This is not it, honey. You're not gonna go anywhere showing up looking like this." And I was like, "Ooh, this stings," but it was so good for me because, yeah, I might not have anywhere to go with my 2 kids every day. Most times I don't. I don't have anywhere to go. We're not trying to go out and spend money and, honestly, Blake and Hayes are the askingest pigeons in the world. So like every time I go somewhere, they're like, "Can I get this? Can I get this? Can I get this?" Mind you, they have a toy room that's overflowing. So I'm like, "No, you cannot get
yeah,
this."
no.
It's easier to just stay at home and do home stuff. Plus, I'm a homebody anyways. But you do need to get ready for yourself. It makes a world of difference. I don't care where you're going. I wake up today, I'm not going anywhere. I'm wearing a cute little sporty dress. I fix my hair and I do my makeup. And I do it every day, not because I'm expecting to see someone, but because it makes me feel better.
Yeah,
Walking past the mirror, I don't wanna see myself looking all schleppy. It makes me feel
like,
bad when I see myself. Yeah, I'm
the
like,
jump scare, you're
"Ugh."
like, "Ooh."
Yeah, I'm like, "Dang, girl," like, "Ooh, ugh,"
Yeah,
or when people ring the doorbell and you're like, "Ah, they're gonna see me looking all trash." Like, now I don't
yeah.
have that fear. I can just go to the door and be like, "Oh, hey."
Okay, yeah, yeah, and I
Anyway,
feel like stuff
no, you
I
go ahead.
feel like stuff like that can just be, like, as little as, like, fixing your hair a little bit, like, maybe you're not a super huge makeup girly or, maybe
Yes.
you don't even like doing your hair, but you can brush your eyebrows a little bit, like, do your skincare routine, and you just feel a little like, that much better, like
You know how they say the 2 out of 3? Like, do 2 out of 3. Pick a cute outfit and do your hair. You don't have to wear makeup. Or
mhm,
fix your hair and you do your makeup. You don't have to wear something cute. Or, you know what I mean? Just pick 2 out of the 3. Do your
I love that.
makeup, wear a cute outfit, and maybe your hair looks trash. Like, if you got 2
Yeah,
out of the 3, you're gonna look fine, you're gonna feel better. I like to do all 3. That's just me. That's just me, honey, because 'cause I'm over the top, I'm extra. 2025,
that's
I'm
who
doing
she
all the
is.
things. Like, yes, I wanna be extra,
2025 is Keisha's year.
and I'm
Mark our
sick of,
words.
like, you know how you have cute clothes in your closet that you're like, "Oh, I can't wait to wear this." What are you waiting for?
That's
What are you
me.
waiting for? I wanna wear a skirt, I'm wearing the skirt. I don't care where I'm going, I might not be going anywhere. I wanna put it on. I'm going to the grocery store, I'm wearing that. Like, I have all these cute heels, I'm wearing them. I wore them last night. Where am I going? Nowhere. The Lego
Nowhere.
store? Like, nowhere. I'm literally going nowhere.
Nowhere.
I don't care. Pick the
Yeah.
stuff out that makes you happy and wear it, wear the thing. Don't save your makeup for a fancy occasion. Wear it, do it. Every day is not promised. This goes back to what Logan said. Like, if you were, what was the thing about counting how many things you have left?
Blank left.
Blank
Like,
left. If I only
yeah,
have
you
this
just
many days left, like, I want to be cute and feeling girly every single day. I spritz on
yeah,
perfume before I go to bed. Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
yeah,
Why? For me, I love the smell. Oh, yes. I'm so luxe in this bed. Like, I don't
yes.
care. I don't care. I'm sick of saving everything for like this
For
random special
the
occasion
next
that's never
day.
gonna happen. Like,
Yeah, because at the end of the day, you're not guaranteed anything, especially when it comes to days. Like, do whatever you want, be whoever you want to be, love whoever you want to be, do crazy things, do fun things, do weird things.
exactly. Yes, it's that part. I just start having more fun with your day to day. Like if you want to do the silly weird thing, do it. Do it. And that leads me to my last thing. I think every, especially females, I don't know if it's the same for guys cuz I'm not in a guy's body, so I can't speak to that. I can only speak for the female journey and my particular journey at that. I think every girl needs a creative outlet. We are creative beings. We I tell this to Logan all the time, so she's gonna be like, "Oh my gosh." I don't know if she thinks it's cringy or whatever, but I
It's
tell her all the time, women are literally
I don't think this is
portals.
cringy.
Okay, good. We are portals that connect heaven and earth. You're a walking portal that connects heaven and earth. That means you are literally made to create. You are made to create. Yes, you are. You have the ability to create a whole freaking life. Yes, you do. You connect heaven to earth. We're the only ones that can do that. Women are magic. I tell her this all the time. Like, we are the most magical, beautiful, amazing beings on this planet. If you are a woman, you need something creative in your life, a creative outlet. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter what it is. I don't care what it is. Do your special creative thing, but you have to have that creative, beautiful, artsy outlet because that's what God put us here to do. Like he put us on, or he, she, they put us here to create anything. We bring beauty to so many things. So find your creative outlet. For me right now, mine is posting online and getting in my creative bag. Okay. I know I don't care that nobody likes it. That's the thing. You're not doing it for an outcome. You're doing it for yourself. I'm posting online because I think it's funny as all get out. Like I
I
think
like
it's
it. I like
hilarious.
your stuff. Don't say nobody doesn't like your stuff
Okay,
because
I
I
just
like
meant like
it.
I'm not doing it in I'm not doing it to influence you. I'm not trying to get you to buy anything. I really don't care. I'm not doing it for anyone else besides myself because I'm finally in a place where I'm ready to be seen and I think, you know what? I want to be seen. I love it. I love being my weird self on the internet and I love coming up with funny little videos and I love filming and pretending and whatever. Like I just think it's so funny and it's such a creative outlet. This podcast is my other creative outlet. I love getting on here with Logan and chit chatting and just chopping it up, as the Gen Z says. I just think you need something to unleash your authentic self,
I
whatever that is.
100% agree. I feel like anytime I've ever been like sad or like something hasn't worked out and I've been bummed about it, like I just am like, you know what, I'm just gonna watch a movie and I'm gonna color. Like, or you
Yes.
know what, I'm gonna just paint. Like,
Yes.
and I'm not that good. Like, I'm not even that good, but it's
Yes,
just
she
still
is.
fun. No, I'm not. But it's still fun. It's like I try to
She
tell
is.
all my friends that go through breakups or anything and they're like really or like something happens, they're really down in the dumps. I'm like, listen, dude, go get in your bed, put on a movie you love, or go outside, go sit outside and draw and color or do whatever it is, read a book. But like that's what I have to do. That's like part of my whole fake it till you make it mantra. Like
Mhm.
I just you know what? I'm not feeling great right now, but let me color. Let me watch this funny little show and color and 10 10 out of 10 times I feel so much better. And I'm like,
Yes.
"You know what? Who cares?"
I
Ugh,
really
yeah.
wanna get into pottery and, like, candle making. I feel like
Yes.
those are my next 2 creative outlets that I wanna get into.
Bro, yes. There's that's so funny that you say that because I've, like, literally have modeling clay sitting next to me on this desk.
Oh!
I bought it I bought it, like, when our season was over because it was just, like I don't know most of you probably don't know, but, like, when my season ended, it was just tough, like and we graduated a bunch of seniors, which was sad, and so, like, I really had to, I had to buy a bunch of coloring books and some markers, like, I had to do some self-reflection time. But I haven't opened
Yeah.
the modeling clay yet, but it's sitting next to me, so it's funny that you said
Yeah,
that.
I wanna do some pottery, I wanna do some candles. I think getting creative is just we were made to do that. We were oh,
Mhm.
my other thing that I got really into, that's my other creative outlet is baking. I got so into baking, which might
Oh, and
sound
she's
so
good at it.
cliche, but I am in my feminine, divine feminine energy right now, and I'm just like, I love baking. I love it. That's where I find so much joy. I love baking at night. After my kids go to bed, I just get in the kitchen and I just freaking bake stuff. And I'm like, I'm gonna try out a new recipe. I'm gonna do this and that. Hee hee hee. Then I make Dan eat it, and he's like, I love that she's has a hobby that's baking.
I love it too because when I'm there, the kids are going to bed and we're, like, getting sat down for our late night chatting session, and she's, like, whipping something up that I get to try, and so I always get so excited,
That's
but
also my other outlet is yapping. I could yap all day. I could
dude, when I'm telling you, Keisha and I will stay up until 5 in the morning talking. Like, I'm telling you, we probably start 10 o'clock, maybe some nights even 9 o'clock, and we don't never once does the conversation get boring. We have to, stop ourselves.
we literally
And
go, "Come on, man, we gotta go to bed. We can't just
yeah,
stay up all
yeah,
night." The kids are
yeah,
about to wake
no,
up and wreck
yeah,
our lives.
yeah. Oh, okay, also, one more little creative thing. Maybe you're not super into drawing, or maybe you're not super into pottery or reading, and you're like, I don't know, I'm not creative, dude. One, you are creative, number one. Number two, one thing that I find so much fun in is refreshing my devices. Like, I love making my computer cute. Like, you can go on Pinterest,
Oh.
you can find a cute little Pinteresty background, and then you can there's so many widgets out nowadays. My iPad, same thing. I love to sometimes I'll even you know what, let me try to draw a little background that I like. Anything fun like that, I just think that's kind of a cool way to express yourself and is maybe a little bit more techy if you're not super into drawing, painting, making sculptures or anything like that. So I
That's
just
for
wanted to
sure.
throw that out there too, because I feel like if you are feeling in a down place, definitely try to revert back into your true self, like what you really find joy in.
And always, another creative outlet can also be, like, working out, I think. Trying new workouts, going to a different workout, dancing, like, moving your body, I think is so essential for feeling good just in general. I know I mentioned going on walks, but, like, try something new and don't be scared to try a bunch of different things either. Like, no one cares. If it's your first time, no one cares. No one cares. The only person who cares is you. The only person thinking about it and you're like, "Oh my gosh, I've never done this before. It's my first time," is you. Everyone else is like, "Come on in, girl." This
Yeah,
is such
most of the time
a community vibe now, I feel like. The girls are here for the girls everywhere. Everyone wants to see you. Yes, they
yes.
do. They wanna see you in the class. Yes, they do. They wanna see you trying the new thing. Yes, they do. They're proud of you for it. Yeah.
Yes, I was just gonna say, anytime I feel like I'm not super flexible by any means, but anytime I go to a yoga class, people are just they're smiling, they're or even the instructor's like, "I'm so happy to see some new faces in here," which is just so fun. You don't have to
Exactly.
be a pro at it.
No, and
So,
my new thing is, like, anything I wanna try, I'm gonna try. 34 years or yeah, last year what, I was 33. 33, I learned to surf. 34, I'm going to learn how to skateboard. That's my goal. Like, this
okay,
year,
vibes.
I have a skateboard and I just gotta get a helmet, some elbow pads, some knee pads, but I've at least been practicing just,
Full
like,
body pad.
kick, push. Come on, Keisha, you got this. Like,
You should get a penny board. Those are so cool. I wanted one
I don't
so
even know what
bad
that
when I was
is.
younger. It's like it's smaller than like actual skateboard, but they're like cute. They have like really cute designs
Oh, I just got
on
one
them.
for free from Justin. I was like, "Justin, let
Okay,
me borrow
well,
one of your boards for me to learn how to skateboard." But that's my
I
thing
get
for
you.
2025. I was like, "Skateboarding, I'm gonna learn this."
Fair,
So,
but I
all
just love
that to
any
be
board.
said, you got this. If you're feeling like you're in the trenches, we see you and we understand and we love you. Reach out to people. It's okay. You're not a
Mhm,
burden and you got this. You can do this. Take care of yourself. I'm not saying you have to do everything we just said, but pick one and just start with it. And
mhm.
like we said at the beginning of the episode, if the all natural way, yes, it took a long time. It did. It took a long time. It took me about 2 years. 2 years. 2 years start to finish. 2 years from the time it started to the time I felt better.
Right, but
So,
you wouldn't take any of it back, like, you wouldn't do it any other way, right? Like, if
no.
looking back, yeah.
No, it
So,
led
I
me here.
mean,
It led me exactly where we are today. It led me to this podcast. It led me to the place where we are right now, and I learned so much from it, and now I can understand other people going through something tough and mental illness. Like, it's so hard, but you can do it. You're strong. You can do it. You have the ability to heal yourself. Yes, you do. I believe that with my whole heart. We all have the ability to heal ourselves. God gave us everything that we need. Like, everything that you
yes.
need is inside of you or around you. He gave it to us. So, or
Mhm.
he or she or they, source, whatever you want to call it. Like,
Yeah,
I'm not going to get all technical there, but
yeah,
I believe that you have the power to heal yourself.
yeah, and also just kind of, we touched on it. Don't be afraid to read labels. Read labels of your medicine, read labels of your food. Just make yourself educated. Of course, people can prescribe you stuff, but make sure you know what's in it. You know what, like, you're taking. Make sure you feel comfortable with it. It's okay to be like, "You know what? I want another opinion. I wanna see someone else. I wanna find a different avenue." It's okay to challenge your doctor and be like, "Well, is there anything else I can do for this?" Just don't be afraid to advocate for yourself and make sure that you are finding what truly is best for you and not just taking the first option that's offered up.
Like I did, because you could end up on a whole
Well,
freaking whirlwind of a journey.
and I just think as humans, we have a right to knowledge and a right to know what we are putting in our body. So,
Definitely. On that note, we want to just leave you guys all feeling so, so good. So, you probably need to go on a walk or something after this episode. It was heavy. It was heavy. We
it
touched on a
was.
lot, but check in on the people you love, check in on yourself, and like Logan said, advocate for yourself. Check your labels, and you don't have to take anything that you don't want to take.
Mhm. If you're feeling down, Keisha always says it, our DMs are open. Our Girl Bible emails will be linked on it onto everything. I have our Instagrams in our on our Instagram page. So if you just kind of want to reach out kind of a little bit more personally, don't hesitate, man. We're here to help. You are loved, you are awesome, you're amazing, you can do it.
Okay, babes, that's the tea, the sermon, the whole dang chapter for today's episode of Girl Bible. If you laughed, nodded, gasped, or even whispered, OMG, same, at any point, then my job here is done. Don't be shy, hit follow so your podcast app serves up fresh wisdom every week like it's your spiritual espresso. And if you've got a sec, drop a review. It helps more fabulous weirdos like us find our way home. Want to keep the convo going? Come say hey over on IG at Girl X Bible. Seriously, slide into the DMs. I do not bite unless it's over snacks or opinions on zodiac signs. Until next time, remember, you're the main character, the plot twist, and the moral of the story. Stay bold, stay weird, and stay flipping iconic. This is Girl Bible signing off.